Hello, Mary. This is something of an addendum to looking out my back door in reference to some statements made about the conditioning that people are undergoing, especially in the workplace. For that, I'd like to tell a story, a true story. This is a woman who, an acquaintance, who worked for a corporation, had offices around the world, and she had a strong sense of justice and was very interested in the truth. She always wanted the truth to come out. And because of it, she became something of a whistleblower at work. For instance, if management sent out a memo wanting to get people involved in this, some kind of change in the workplace, and it was all upbeat and enthusiastic and, that kind of thing. Well, she would go to management and say, this is just going to create more trouble for the employees here. It's just going to be a burden. So the memo is wrong. It gives a completely wrong impression. Or she would go to him and say, what is this product you've come up with? It's useless. It's not worth anything. You're just taking people's money by selling this, and that's wrong. And so on it went. Like I said, whistleblower. The trouble is for management was that she also kept a diary. Pretty detailed diary about what went on every day at the workplace. As long as she had that diary, they couldn't touch her. Fortunately, she also had a few friends in management, so. But one day, her supervisor came to her while she was sitting in her cubicle. We'll call her Judy. Anyway, her supervisor came up and said, Judy, I'm sick of you. That's the word that they use these days. I'm sick of you. Don't you know right now I could fire you and you'd be out on the street. You'd be without a job. You'd be out on the street, living in poverty. I could ruin you right now. So you better straighten up. That's kind of the gist of the conversation at that point. And Judy looked at her and said, no, that's not true. She said, I'm here because I choose to be here. One day I will choose not to be here, and I will leave. Furthermore, if everyone in this department were to quit their jobs and leave, not only would it adversely affect this multinational corporation, you'd lose your job. So, no, I don't need you. You need me. The response of the supervisor was quite dramatic. By all accounts, she turned white as a sheet and started visibly shaking. And without saying a word, she just kind of turned around and walked off in a daze. She tried to get some things done, and she was so distracted she couldn't do it. And she was on the point of hysteria and panic because of what Judy had told her. After a while, her manager noticed that she was having a really hard time of it. So he went up and asked her, what's wrong? And she told him what Judy had said, and his reaction was exactly the same. He turned white as a sheet, just as pale as he could be, and started visibly shaking. And he also couldn't focus on his work. He was so upset, he couldn't focus on his work. Finally, his director, the director of the whole operation, saw what was going on with him, that he was having trouble focusing, and he looked, like he's about to, go into a panic. So he asked the manager what was going on, and he told what Judy had said. The manager called Judy into his office and said, "Why did you say that? If I hadn't known you for the last 20 years, I'd fire you right now." She just looked at him and said, "Why? It's the truth, isn't it? Why are you afraid of the truth?" It can be that intense. And when something comes along to challenge all of the, or to block really, all of the conditioning that people have gone through for years, it can be very traumatic for them. Keep in mind that you and I have also been conditioned. Movies, television, that's a big one. Internet, signal. People say there are signals that come in through your cell phones and whatnot that pretty much zap you. And in many ways, like I said, we're all being conditioned one way or another. But watch for those things that come along and would break down the conditioning, and welcome it, so that you don't have to go into some kind of state, really, like they went through. But you can see it as a cause for celebration, that you're that much more free now every time something happens to break the conditioning. So, something to keep in mind. Okay. Thank you.